Why I love mediumship. If you've noticed on most of my videos, I'm actually channeling. So I go into a stare mode. That's because I've tuned into the universe. But this one is more about me as a person. Mediumship, for me, I was fascinated. I mean, my family was into it, especially my mother. But I just loved, I used to go to development circles with my mother. I used to watch them do the platform. And I was just amazed that they were able to get messages from the other side that they passed on, and the effect of helping people, and some of these people were releasing all these emotions and fears, and you could see that just that little simple message from the other side meant so much. And then when my nan died in my arms, I wanted to help people to not go through an experience like that, or to help them with that experience. That shattered my life. I lived with my nan for 6 years when I was at university and stuff. And that so shattered my life because, you know, to think that I've lost this one person that gave me so much love and worked so hard in life, and was just deteriorating for 24 hours in front of my eyes. And that last breath, that scary last breath, and I thought, oh my God, you know, I need to help more people to release that, because after that experience, I went 3 months without really recognizing them, because my body was rejecting all this information and all this sort of like, that I didn't even notice she was around. And I thought I was a medium, so I thought, well, you know, this is not going to be a problem for me, you know. But your guilt and your emotional attachment and everything, your body really goes into shutdown. And this got me thinking about the whole mediumship as a whole. You know, when I first started out, it was like natural. I felt like I had a natural ability. It just came to me. Information would just come to me and I would pass it on. And then the more I got into it, the more some days it didn't work, and the other days it did work. And it seemed like when I most needed it, I couldn't get the information. Why? Because obviously I had an emotional block. I had fears. I had all the human experience. And so that's why I really got into understanding the mechanics of it. But people, I did read the odd book and stuff, but most of my information, once I'd opened the lines of communication, and once I started speaking to spirit and communicating, I found that was the best way. So I used to throw myself into situations, and that's what led to like the paranormal and all sorts. Not ever thinking that the paranormal will be benefit, but it taught me so much about negative energies and energies of the body and everything. So mediumship is sort of like, I would say, my companion to the world. Anytime I needed information or guidance or wanted to learn how to do something, I would ask spirit. And then things would happen and people would come to my place, or I end up at events or this, that and the other. And then even when I was stuck doing house cleansings, I'd have some really nasty thing in there. I used to say, well, what do I do? You know, you've sent me to this place. And then they would guide me. And then from that experience, I would learn so much. And so it's been a way of life. And then part of me was like, as I developed over the years, I went from mediumship to healing, to creating a past life healing vibrational. They channeled through to me, walking in nature, understanding the connections, being able to see the bigger lives and past lives, and how we're connected, and our masculinism come from that. And I started to notice that people were having, like, I could see areas of people's bodies where they were like struggling, and I could trace it back to where their past lives was. So all these magical things were starting to really show to me. And then I got a little bit annoyed because I worked in the football industry. I couldn't really go under my name. I had to go under like a pseudonym. And even though I love Brad Bunk, it's me and one of my past lives joined together sort of thing. It started to, I couldn't do, you know, I wanted to go on the platforms and everything, but whenever I opened the door to the spirit world, when I was doing development circles I went to, I mean, they all said I was very talented and I should be judged, this, that, and the other, but it never really happened. And then my child came along, and basically I couldn't do the days that they wanted me to do platform and stuff like that. So I thought, well, there must be a reason why I'm not doing it, because every now and then I would just still prove to myself. I go to development circles, stand up and do a speech, and everybody go, "Oh, you're wonderful, you should be on platform, da, 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 da." But I think it was just a part of the stage. I think the channeling part is what I love the most, the automatic writing. But now my eyesight's gone in one eye, I can't do automatic writing, which I hate myself for. So sometimes that's why I do the channeling work. I can't really write out scripts because I can't really see the scripts when I'm speaking to you guys. So, that's why you probably won't get a lot of face-to-face sort of work and see my true expressions or see my true passion for loving mediumship, because I just love. And then I started to teach. I said to him one day, how do I do it? And then I created this pack within a day. And it was just marvellous. And then I was able to do the pack, and it got me connected, and realised that they'd done it in such a way that it bypassed my brain. It made it automatic. And each time I did it, I got a new experience. So I was being excited every day by the mediumship. And then when the teaching, I noticed other people suddenly releasing, letting go, all of a sudden getting that connection. And that made me feel alive. Because proving it is one thing. But sometimes I tended to find I attracted a lot of people that I had to then prove it to. And that spoilt it, really, because I was wanting to be like a little spiritual guru that guided people and gave people ideas so that they can help themselves on the journey. I wasn't really into proving all the time, because even though proof is important, proof comes in the message anyway. And so the mannerisms of the person, all these sorts of different ways will show the person that they're actually speaking to their loved ones. And so then I was able to have people walk into me and talk through me without going under, which I quite liked, because doing a lot of paranormal and one thing and another, we had 3 trance mediums, and they used to get taken over, and I had to stay not taken over because I had to make sure that they were safe. So that was so interesting, but at the same time, going deep within yourself, which I did a couple of times to allow somebody to talk through me, I didn't know what I was letting in. And that I felt was quite dangerous in some respects, unless you had somebody who made sure that you were all right, and which is what I was doing in the paranormal. So, and I've seen so many emotional things take over people, and that was quite scary. I mean, there was one time when I was toe to toe with a bare knuckle fighter, scared the life out of me. But I knew that if I could take the energy out of the body, get rid of it, which I was able to do. I'd been doing this a lot when I was younger and stuff anyway, because one of my mum's friends was actually sort of partly possessed, and they taught me how to take the energy away and then get rid of the energy. So that was quite interesting. So my whole life is about learning, evolving, and the mediumship has always been a part of me. But I don't see the mediumship as everything, because otherwise I'd be stuck to one thing. So when I opened the door to the spirit world, which I've now sort of realised as well, I used to get loads of voices talking to me and this, that and the other, and to try and get them to line up, because they'd all try and jump in and one thing and another. And because, when you do the platform, you do find that, everybody wants a message. So even people that they're not really communicating with will just take the message anyway. And so I used to love the Doris Stokes' way, because she always made sure that the message found its place. After she'd gone through giving the information out, she'd still have a few people that she didn't, and she used to bring them up and she used to show. And I used to love that about her. And I think that's the key. I think if you could do mediumship where you just give the message of what you get and people take what they want, instead of all this highlighting proof and going to the person and making sure, because this is quite hard when you've got a group full of people. You've got about 50 people behind you wanting to talk, wanting to share, and are desperate to get that message across. And there's some mediums who are brilliant at it. I mean, I've been to see quite a few who are quite good at that. And they link to the next person if it doesn't come right, and very cleverly done, you know what I mean? Which is part of it all. But it wasn't for me it was more that the gift of the message. Because I know that message, that the loved one is okay over there, and they're guiding you and they're helping you and prove that they were that, really, really helped people. And so I do that automatically now, even when I'm in conversations. I know I'm tuning in because of the information I give, and it's a certain energy, and I know that it's coming wisdom from the universe, and helping people to look outside the box. And I'm a very much look outside the box type of guy anyway, sort of thing. I'm not just happy with what I'm given. I like to see the bigger picture on it. I mean, it's different with mediumship, because more you're trying to get a message and pass it in a way that the person can understand it. And so I was lucky enough, because I learned to connect to the source, to nature, and it made a big difference to my mediumship. I mean, I've been doing a project for the last 10 years, and that's maybe why I've been sort of out of the sort of forefront. But I promised I'd help these people out, and I've been helping them for 10 years, not lose their homes, not lose their lands and everything. And luckily enough, I don't have to prove the person, because every time I tune into them, or every time, the spirit will just come and stand next to me and start talking through me. And I don't have to go and say, oh, it's your uncle here, or, it's an old solicitor here helping you, or this, that, and the other. And it meant it flowed a lot easier, because I had to ascertain who it was. I didn't have to prove who it was. I didn't have to be questioned on who it was. I was able to just free flow, and they were able to tell me bits and pieces that often came true in the future for them, which is another thing a lot of the churches don't do now. You're not meant to give future information, which I understand, because sometimes you could be making someone's life by telling them what to do, or guiding them in the future. But to be able to just give what I've got changed the whole concept of my mediumship. It made it freer, it made it clearer, it made it easier. And then a lot of the times, it was later on confirmations, or the big picture to what information I gave them would come true, which is really what mediumship is about. It's not about you understanding the message that you're getting, even though sometimes you might have to ask for more. So say, for example, there was a particular picture on a wall, or there was something that they really did like, like Rose's chocolates or something like that, then you might have to get little images to get the bigger picture, which is when you have to really work at it and ask for more information until the whole picture shows. Then it feels right, you get euphoric feeling, and then you know that you've got the right information. So mediumship is, I think we're all mediums, to be quite honest with you. All of us get intuition and gut feelings, but because the more you tune in to preparing your vessel, meditating, the more then you hear the world of spirit, or you hear the world of the soul giving you information, and you act upon it. I mean, I still forget. I mean, I still do it now, where somebody will say, oh, that item there, you need to put safe, because she will need that. And I'm like, yeah. Then 6 months down the line, I can't find the item. And I think, you're an idiot. It's not like you're actually guided not to do something, and you still do it, because you get caught up in life and everything. And this is like mediumship. You're the middle person. Your soul is always guiding you, always bringing you people. There's information in everybody you meet, signs all around you, but only when you're aligned. When you get into that energy, it's easier to understand the message or the bigger picture. It's easier to see what they're trying to say. My mum was brilliant at it. She always tells us before we do something wrong half the time, but we still did it wrong, because did we listen? But I know now that if I get aggravated by something, or, I don't want to do that. I mean, it was so funny, because I used to work with children, and I used to love going to all the events with the children, because I'd have such a laugh. It was outside the place, the residential place and everything. And this one time, I was adamant. I didn't want to go to this place. There was just, and the guy, one of the other members come to me and went, Steve, that's your thing, is socialising, entertaining, out there, making the kids feel special, this is your thing. And I was like, oh, no, I really don't want to do it tonight. Well, they went to the place and it was closed down. Now, I'm thinking to myself, well, why didn't I recognise that? Well, you don't. You don't recognise the message when you get it sometimes. And because it comes out of nowhere, it doesn't seem to be a part of you. And that's how the spirit world works. It's out of nowhere. It might still be your voice, but it's not some great God voice or this, that, and the other, So really, why it feels right is because it's your soul also helping you. Now, your soul might bring through people They might link you to the energies of people. They may find ways to heal or support or love or just be there for people. You know, you're always learning. So they will create situations and everything for you. So the reason I love mediumship is because it brings peace to people's lives. It helps me out. It helps me understand why things are going through. And so this is what I wanted to portray to you guys. But most of my videos are sort of channeled work. So I basically sit down and say to the universe, you know, what information you want to give today, or there's a particular subject that really highlights for me, and I know then that's the sort of message to pass on to you guys. And so I'm in the sort of like the midst of it at the moment, because part of me wants to give you what I feel that you want, and then part of me just wants to channel and give information that I get. So some of my work is repetitive stuff, because that's what they keep trying to, because a lot of this information is guidance for myself anyway. It's for my spiritual journey. I'm really just sharing my experience of the information that comes through and helps me on my journey, in the hope that it helps you on the journey. So that's why I want you to just know. But really, mediumship is amazing, but it's still known as that weird sort of, you know, thing. I mean, 20 years ago, I was called a freak for the information I used to come out with. Now I'm supposed some rogue healer, rogue sort of this, that and the other, because I'm not even accepted by, you know, you took 20 years and certain organisations have set ways they do things. And I'm thinking, but it's not. You're just the middle person. Anybody can give a message. Anybody can support. Anybody can share their passion. Anybody can create. Anybody can be grateful, could give out a good energy that helps other people. You know, being spiritual is because you've made a choice to give out a good energy, really. Because you've been awakened that there is a good energy in everybody. And there's this beautiful connection. And then what we're focusing on, or what we're looking to all the time, is not really what it's all about. And that's why more and more people are struggling, because they've been awakened that there's another world out there, and that's out of their control. They can't handle it, or they're absorbing too much pain from others, or they're tapping into the pain of others. Because when you're awakened, that's when you get more connected to like the universe. Now, the universe is giving unconditional love and peace out to you. But when your body's full of pain, stress, worry, it struggles to flow. And so then your brain gets involved more, and it starts to show you things, and it's just really wanting you to let go of this stuff that is your perception, because you're stuck mostly in illusion. You're stuck mostly, the 9% of your thoughts are illusions, because they've not happened. But your body's trying to release that. It's trying to get you to connected once again to the source. Well, you're always connected, but it's trying to stop you from thinking and vibrating stuff that takes you away from the source, which is what all this searching and everything is. I mean, it's good to search for stuff. I mean, anything I want, I just order and then it comes. And because I'm do a lot of meditation stuff, it comes quicker. But I try and ask for stuff that brings peace to my life, because that is more in line with the universe and everything, you know? So I just wanted to show you, I want to show you a different side to me and show you the true side to me, my passion. I love mediumship. I love igniting people. I love bringing peace to people's lives. I love the whole concept. And because I've been doing it for so many years, you know, I just get a little bit annoyed that there's people out there that are not working from the heart. But that's my own fears and worries, because there's so many people that make out they could do something. And that's because of the ego. That is because they try to prove. That's because they go around telling everybody that they're amazing. Just play your part. You know, if you're a clairvoyant, you're a clairvoyant. If you're a psychic, you're a psychic. If you're a medium, you're a medium. It doesn't matter. You're contributing to helping people to ignite and be connected again. That's the true essence of it all. You know, so just get out there and enjoy. Stop judging people. Stop trying to be better than people. Stop trying to be, because it doesn't make sense. You know, you're a small cog in a big wheel, and without you, the whole thing will not work. Until you realise that. That's the part of the enlightenment, is that we're all connected. And so if you want to spend a day's hating, you can attract people that you can hate. You know? That's just how simple it is. That's your part to play then. But it doesn't bring you any peace because it brings more hate to your world. You know, it doesn't bring you the love and the unconditional love, that love in all things. You then focus on one person. That person's going to save my life, and I'm now going to be so connected when I found that person. No, you got to love all things. And then you find somebody to share that love with you on a journey. You know, it's not rocket science here. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. So any lack is what you've created, or your thought that you're not good enough, or one thing or another. You know, some people put it down to self-esteem and all this lot. But when you get back to tapping into the true essence, you don't feel not being loved. You don't feel the worries and the fears. Why? Because you're not in that energy. When we connect to our human experience, we feel as though we have to do something, because basically from 0 to 7 you're this pure energy, and so you're automatically linked. Then after 7 you put your programmings in, and 0 to 7 is where your program is also put in, of what mannerisms you're going to be, what life lessons you're going to learn, how the sort of person you're going to be. And then because of choice of free will, you may not choose, you know, one of service. You may not choose, but it doesn't mean that you're not still spiritual. Now, I've seen some mechanics that are so spiritual, so connected, because they love what they do and everything. It doesn't matter, or artists, or it doesn't matter what you do. In playing your part, you are then connected to the universe, being who you are. And then when you realise it, which I've just done a video on, it's all connected to the inner self, the inner part of you that's connected to all. And then where your soul is mostly linked. You know, some souls are connected to you, some are not. Some are part of, like, an aspect of all the energy. I think we're all part of one big energy. And we're little different vibrations and one to another, like the river's different to the sea, but it's still the same. It's still one big energy that we have little aspects to. And that's why when you meet people, you basically, there's a lesson there, or there might be just, there's a reason that there's something they might say, or there might be some emotion that they need to clear, or you need to clear, and then you leave a part of your soul there with them. And that's why I cut the ties every day, because I'm connected to a lot of people, thousands of people, and also thousands of their people. And then I wonder sometimes why, over negativity, I absorb too much, or, you know, but it's my choice, because I've realised that I help other people to help myself. You know, and sometimes you have to take time out for yourself. So mediumship, I just love. Healing, I just love. Being spiritual, I just love. You know, and why do I love it? Because I feel alive. And my mojo is back. And this is what I was like. Anybody who knew me young knew that I just enjoyed life. And I lost a bit of that with a sleeping disorder, with going on this 10-year journey to focus really on why I was attracting negativity, bad marriages and bad situations, and I was treated wrong in football and all this lot. You know, I found out why. Because of my vibration, because what I put out there, because of pleasing others, because of not feeling good enough. And then even when I was good enough, I still was treated bad. But that was my perception, you know, because I still had that deep down feeling of not being good enough. Even when I achieved so many amazing things, you know, so many great things in life I've achieved, I still deep down, and it's like with the weight and everything, you know, I was always frightened of being overweight. I trained like mad, and then basically I've created myself a situation to be. It was like when I was in my 20s and I would never stop. I would push on. I never got ill. I never and then they just gave me glandular fever and I was out for 4 days. And I thought, wow, that's just really stopped me. But I created it, you know, and I created not to be a professional footballer. Now looking back on it, you know, and all these weird things that you do to yourself, you sabotage your life, or you know, there's certain people that brought peace to your life that I wish I'd stayed with now, but it wasn't meant to be. I just had to realise that, because I had certain things that I had to do in life. I had to learn in life. And so I never take anything away, because it made me into the person I am. But to try and fit in all the time and everything, you take yourself further away from being connected to yourself, you know. And that's what it's all about. And if you love yourself, you're clearing out the negativity. You drink plenty of water, you're clearing out negativity, and you're helping your body to flow more. So I hope this has given you a little bit of insight. I haven't gone about all the subjects I've done or anything like that, but I do love doing mediumship.